Hello and welcome back once again to the Dig Stuff channel. I've got a few things to say. Firstly, some apologies. So it's been quite a while since my last video went up. This is for a few reasons. One, I've been trying very hard to get the SD card right and get the original videos off it. I've handed it to people who know more about technology than I do, and I'm hoping they'll be able to sort something out, but as of yet, nothing's happened. The other reasons is I've been a bit busy, I've been away, and the third reason is I've been a bit lazy, so sorry. So anyway, this video is about returning back to what I was doing in the last video, and I'm going to carry on explaining what happened on the second week of my excavation in Dorchester. So before we got back to the digging, on the Saturday we had a day off, which was lovely, because after all that hard work we'd been doing throughout the week, it was nice to have a day where we could relax. So some people stayed on site, some people went off to Oxford, I went to see my girlfriend Holly, and it was nice to take the day off and enjoy yourself. Day 8, however, which was the Sunday, we were back into the archaeology and back doing some digging. So I was back down in the pit where we were been digging. At this stage we still thought it was coming out some kind of spoil heap where they were pouring stuff in. We'd drawn a cross section now, and what we had to do was just keep on digging through. I should explain that a cross section is taking a drawing of the stratigraphy that is left, so the layers that are left once you've dug down. So if you you'll dig a straight edge, and then on this straight edge you'll have various layers of different types of spoil and different earths and different types of geology as well. And that's what we're trying to map out, so that having dug through it, the recording is still there for other people to see and for it to be used later in research. So day 9, I was back in the finds tent. There wasn't much to report here. It was very similar to the last time. We were just cleaning up the bones and the pieces of pottery with a toothbrush. It was nice though to chat and speak to people. It was a good chance to get to know people a bit better. So later in the week I was moving out of the pit where I was working with other people, and was working back where I was before actually, near the kitchen, working on the inside of the proposed building. As you might expect, there was quite a lot of nails from it being an interior feature, but also my favourite find, and one that was considered very archaeologically important, was 6 pieces of vertebra all in a row. Because these vertebrae were in situ and still lying in a line of a spine horizontally, this was very archaeologically important, as it showed that this piece of archaeology had not moved since it had been laid there. So the site leaders were quite impressed with this, and I felt a bit pleased with myself, managed to find an important thing. So it was photographed, and we take the photos on a digital camera for obviously digital recordings, and on an old style camera which will take a manual picture. So another thing that happened in the second half of the week was we had daily lectures given by members of Oxford University and the Oxford Archaeology, who were the private firm who were involved in the dig with us. So the lecture topics were on what was going on in the Dorchester site, so a bit more about its history, both in what the archaeologists had been doing there and in its actual historical progression. We also had lectures on different aspects of archaeology, such as environmental archaeology and the archaeology of the ceramics that we were finding and of the bones which we were finding. Interestingly, it was in this bones lecture, this was the same day that I dug up that cow spine, and lo and behold, there it was. So yeah, this spine that I dug out had become important, because having cleaned it up, it had been found that the sides of the spine, where the ribs were attached, had been cut off, and there was rough hacking along both sides of the spine. So you've got the spine coming down here, and normally you have small bits poking out. Well, these had all been cut off, and what it was proposed by the expert was that it was hung up as a carcass of meat, and then someone had come with a knife and hacked off all the ribs. And it was fantastic that you could see that in the archaeology, and they'd obviously finished with the spine and just chucked it on the floor in the corner of the kitchen. And that's what's fascinating about archaeology, is how you can see so easily sometimes into the past with such small details. So yeah, before I knew it really, it was the end of the dig. We had to down our tools on the last day and we were going home. There was no more digging. So I guess I better give my final thoughts on the dig. I really enjoyed the dig because it felt like a culmination of what I'd been doing this year, building up to doing an actual excavation. Also, the people I met on the dig were fantastic. The site directors and the postgraduate students who were our tutors they were all brilliant. And of course, all the other students were great. I loved meeting the guys from Oxford. They were great fun to be around, and made the digging a bit more lively at times when it felt like it was a bit dull. We'd be playing games of 20 questions and keeping ourselves entertained. It was good to have such friendly people around. Of course, one of the great things about the excavation was the historical knowledge that I picked up, and I learned quite a lot about how the society, not just in Dorchester, but Roman society in general would have functioned, and it was really enlightening in a way, because you can see how actually they're really quite similar to how we were. This kind of comparison between our life and the life of the Romans was what really interested me initially about archaeology, and I think that's what's really cemented my love for it. So anyway, that was the end of my videos on the Dorchester excavation. I'm hopefully going to do a couple more videos on other things to do with archaeology, which you'll see in the near future, I hope. Hopefully with a little less delay than this video has been, and I apologise for that. So anyway, thanks for watching the channel, so stick with Dig Stuff, and I'll see you soon. Bye!